Just like that. Mike Draco in first, Lisa Ballard right behind him. Good to see all you guys, man. Hey, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, and I am going to be one of your hosts on tonight's episode of Shop Talk. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Jeremy Sather coming in. Good to see you guys. Hey, put up on the board wherever you guys are watching from, wherever you're watching, just put your comments in there. Big D in the house with us. Great to see you here, brother. It's wintertime, snowy outside, but it's showtime here in the Shop Talk studios. 50 floors beneath the street level. We're getting started with an excellent show. Greg White in with us. It's going to be a killer show tonight. We have two guests, count them, two guests, a feature bike. We even have some tech. We've been in the Grease and Gears garage doing a lot of stuff. Chile, Minnesota checking in. Bill Stevens, hello from Michigan. Got to be cold there too. Cincinnati well represented with Mr. Draco. 3.5 minutes we're going live with this one. Just enough time for you to get a cold drink, kick back, relax, and hit the like and share button. As always, Dan Rognesvog. I can never say that name right, man. Isn't that why we call this cat Cabana Dan? Nobody can say that name. I'm sorry. I can mess up Smith. Let's be serious. Have you heard me do trophies at our bike shows? Three minutes, man. We're going live with this one. Don't go anywhere. Shop Talk coming up. Big D, I noticed a fat guy on page 13 of my Cycle Source. Right on. Cycle Source Magazine hitting the newsstands now. Man, with all the year in review stuff, it's killer. Milwaukee, Michael Johnston, good to see you here. The mayor of Milwaukee in the house with us. Below zero, nuts are frozen. You're supposed to take your nuts inside when it's cold like this, Michael. Tony Tello, Med for Mass in the house. 19 degrees in Michigan with Bill Stevens. Oh my God. Dennis Mason, hi Felicia. That's one for you, Mark. Dennis Fame, Long Island, New York City. Right on. Alan Angelos, howdy. Good to see you. Leesburg, Florida. Lance Baxter win with us. Oh, look. Mike is telling us how to say it, Mark. Look. Rogensvog. Rogensvog. Okay, that's it. Mike says Pope. F the mayor. He's the Pope of Milwaukee. Rob Nussbaum, Retro Cycle in the house. Rob, I'm going to be in touch. We got bike builds going on. I'm desperate. I need help. Dan Starkey with us. Absolutely excellent to see you here, man. Drew Skokelis. See, I said I'm bad. 55 here in Florida today. Oh, my goodness. Sean, what's the topic? Well, let's see. We have Mr. Willie T. Jones in the house with us. We're going to be talking about the fact that he is Cycle Source Man of the Year this year. Also, Chopper Time right around the corner. The greatest chopper show on planet Earth. Second, and riding shotgun with us, Mr. Randy Noldge. God, he's going to hate me. That dude is too big for me to piss off, Mark. He's going to be talking about this year's St. Louis Cycle Showcase. A lot of great stuff to announce there. And we got a bunch of other stuff, man. Feature bikes and tech, and always have the events and everything for you guys. So under a minute now. Get ready. I'm going to shut up and get ready for this one to go live. Give you guys that last couple minutes to hit the like and share buttons. Marty Zavakos, Jim Parsons, Southampton, Mass. It's snow machine time. Oh my goodness. Steve Broyles, D-Town. Tom Kiefer, PA. Kicking it. Try again. Rogensvog. Is that right? Did I say? Poor Dan. I'm butchering his name. 26 seconds, man. That means it's time to get this one out of the station. And we're up on the track so we can go live with this week's Shop Talk. Here we go. Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It's just after 9 p.m. on Sunday night. That means it's time for 90 to 120 minutes of all the bullshit we can fit. Shop Talk, going live through the courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio here, 50 floors beneath the street level this evening. And I want to straighten this off right off the bat because Dan has come in and said pronounced Runsvogue. Remember, Leonard Skinner, Runsvogue. I'll never mess that up again. That's the easiest way.
Until next time, of course.
Tom Banks in here with us. Anybody that I missed, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, Chris Callen with Cycle Source Magazine, and we're getting ready to launch this thing. Let me bring in the co-hosts, my cohorts, my crew.
Horton's got the who.
Hey.
Oh, she's right off the bat. So Dan said perfect. Runsvogue.
Perfect.
Runsvogue.
Runsvogue.
It was.
Man, I was going to have him come on the show just so he could say it over and over and over and over again.
That's not a bad idea. He's a good conversation.
He is, and he builds some beautiful motorcycles. And I have shop envy.
Wojciechowicz. And I know that one only because I'm a child of the 70s.
That's right. Where's Fish?
So we got so much to get through tonight, but I have to talk about, like, in Pittsburgh, we have had the most traditional winter that we've had in almost forever. Like, it wasn't going to be winter at all, and all of a sudden, it's old 70s Pittsburgh winter here.
Yeah, it showed up.
Snow, ridiculous amounts of snow. It's been 2 degrees.
So, ridiculous. Like, winter was not really interested, somewhat interested.
Interested, somewhat interested.
Had some other shit to do.
And suddenly, completely interested all the time. Oh my God! So Tom Banks in with us. If you guys haven't heard the news that Tom has taken over the reins and full control over a competition distributing, really, really exciting chapter in that business and for Tom too as a lifetime motorcyclist. We're waiting to see what's happening next with that company.
He was out hunting down antique memorabilia. He's also building a museum.
Yeah. Yep.
To house his collection.
He needs a hobby. We got to
talk about right. I think he's got one, or 2, or 10.
So
he's got a lot going on.
If this is Joe Orsini's here, man. That's awesome. What were you saying? What did you say? I'm sorry. I cut in.
You didn't cut in.
Oh, butterfly.
Butterfly. See the size of that chicken.
Do you see the size of that chicken? All right, man. Well, listen, thank you guys again for being here. If this is your first time tuning in, this is the 184th time that we're doing Shop Talk. We do this show pretty much every Sunday, and it's usually right around 9 o'clock that we start it. So if that's any indication for you, one of the most regular things that we get to, because we get to talk about motorcycles with motorcycles people. We give all kind of, entertainment, events. We go through tech, feature bikes, everything. We start the whole thing off with a little segment that we call the news. The Shop Talk World Report is brought to you by Law Tigers. Get the compensation you deserve and get back on the road with Law Tigers. First up in the news tonight, and this is completely selfish that we do this as our first news story, but we're so excited about this because we had such a blast doing it. Heather and I are on 5 Dirty Bikers podcast tomorrow, right, Heather?
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Monday. Yes, tomorrow. If tomorrow is Monday, yes, tomorrow. I'm very excited. I feel like we could have talked to them for an entire day. There were so many things after the fact that I was like, oh man, we didn't talk about this. Right. We didn't talk about this. Hopefully they'll have us back. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a good time. How can people tune in for this?
It will be on YouTube, Facebook. I'm not sure if it's live on Instagram, but I will do my homework and I will we'll also share it to Cycle Source as soon as it goes out.
We have that's what we need to do. We need to tell them guys that they need to get Mark on the show. Can you imagine Mark on 5 Dirty Bikers?
A throwdown.
And 5 Dirty Bikers, for those of you that are following along with the this year's Best of Awards in Cycle Source Magazine, that's our media release of the year. So they're going to be coming on the show also on Shop Talk so that we can talk to them. Pretty interesting crew there. And the thing I like the
Yeah, it
most
was
about
cool.
it is like, because, you know, getting ready for us to be on their show and them to be on our show, I started listening to all their podcasts, and I just like the fact that it's just like sitting around the garage with a bunch of people that, you know, there's no pretense whatsoever.
They did something that I kind of want to rip off from them, and I'm saying it publicly, so maybe it's not technically stealing. They actually
that's
had,
still stealing.
well, maybe I'll ask for permission because I
Okay.
can't steal. I love that they had people submit questions ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like, that was cool. That
Yeah.
was a cool part of the show, I thought.
Well, and we keep talking about having one of our shows where we ask people to come on.
Yeah.
You know, and do an open, like, just put the Zoom link up and let people come in and ask questions.
That could be entertaining.
It could.
Or
We've talked about that a few times.
criminal.
It could be
Not
a shit
quite
show.
sure.
It could be a shit show.
Would be fun.
Could be a total.
Hello, Senator David Monahan. I don't know what
Wait
goes.
a minute.
Sometimes I try not to look at the chat box a whole lot because, damn, it gets interesting up there.
I just talked. Wait a minute, Jim Fletcher. Good news. Chip Parisi got his bike back. I
Oh,
can't
right
wait to
on.
see Chip on the road somewhere. Well, I just talked to Chip last week, and he didn't say anything about not having his bike. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. Chip, reach out. Let us know what's up. Hey, moving on to the news because we want to get to our first guest pretty quick. Sad news this week about Austin from New York City. You guys will undoubtedly, anybody that had anything to do with motorcycling for the last couple of days, there's been posts everywhere as the community reacts to his passing. But in particular, we got this post from Deb Fitch the other day about a fundraiser that Austin is benefiting Austin's family. You can check it out. We reposted it up on the Cycle Source Instagram as well. Every donation of $75 or more, Deb Fitch will send these 2 signed 8x10 prints to any U.S. address. So, you know, doing some money to directly go towards his family and hospital bills through everything that Austin went through with his passing. And obviously, it goes without saying, our hearts and prayers go out to his family in this time and everyone that knew him. He was a prominent figure in the motorcycle community.
Yeah, do your part. He was a good guy.
Yes, sir. Mark, I noticed that you're brandishing your traditional form of flannel this evening.
I do.
Rob Nussbaum's going to be so excited.
I figured he would have sent a picture. I actually went back in the house and put it on because I don't want him to be mad at me like 5 weeks in a row. I missed the flannel run last time. Everybody had them on but me.
Right.
So, yeah, I figured I had to show. I double flanneled. I'm double flanneling.
Oh, man. Look at that.
Double no.
Okay, so one more piece of news, and we're going to move on to our first guest. We'll come back to news at the end of the show. Meekham's, and I just realized you guys can't see part of that screen. This in from the ClassicCars.com Journal. Meekham's big motorcycle auction returns to South Point, led by 95 vehicles from what is being termed the Harley-Davidson Heritage Collection, which is, believe it or not, we're going to talk about this, spawned some controversy amongst the antique community. Meekum Auction's 31st annual Las Vegas Vintage and Antique Motorcycle Auction returns to its traditional venue January 25th through the 29th. The auction again will be staged at the South Point Hotel and Casino at the south end of the Strip after being held in 21 at the Las Vegas Convention Center. As many as 1,750 motorcycles are expected to cross the auction block. Now, back to the Harley-Davidson Heritage Collection, you know, as soon as you hear that, anybody who lived through the 80s and 90s with Harley-Davidson and when they were so ferocious with their copyright and trademark attorneys, you immediately go, you know, did Harley-Davidson co-sign Meekum or some big things happened here that we missed? But from what I understand, that's not the case. So everybody's up in arms anyway, talking about how's Meekum using Harley-Davidson Heritage Collection and what does that have to do. So I guess it will have to be something we all find out as Meekum kicks off this installment.
So you're saying if they get a big cease and desist order letter?
Well, that's the thing about it. With this close to showtime,
yeah,
it would almost be a moot point for Harley to even send that
right.
cease and desist. So should be, I don't know. It's listen, when you've been in the industry for so long, the dumbest shit gets interesting sometimes.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about it. You get old and you want to bitch about things, and there's plenty.
Then it should be very interesting because there's so much dumb shit going on right now.
You're not kidding.
Sorry.
All right, man. Well, listen, without any further ado, I am so happy to bring on our next guest. I'm happy every time we're around this man, and he makes sure that we are and everyone that's in his presence at least twice a year for sure. But anytime you're with Willie T. Jones, it's a good time. Thrilled that you guys nominated and then backed that up with the votes to name him Motorcycles Man of the Year, especially after the hell of the year that Willie had. And everything that he's done for so long for our community. So let's go to the lines and bring on Mr. Willie T. Jones. Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectral Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth. Mr. Jones, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing good.
So good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to be on here. It's been a while.
So I see you're also in on the Flying and Wafia thing.
That's right.
Don't tell me it's cold in Florida right now.
You go,
Man,
Willie.
it's freezing out here. I got up this morning, let my dogs out, and I about froze to death. 6 in the morning.
What's
36 degrees?
36. That's what it is.
Wow.
Well, that is cold.
It does
for
get
down
cold
there.
in Florida. So
Yeah, that's real cold.
So listen, we were talking about this real quick in post, but I'm going to put up the artwork real quick. Motorcycles Man of the Year. I can't believe, like, we've been doing this since 2006. I can't believe that this is the first time that you're getting Man of the Year, right?
Yeah, it is. And you know what? I'm really humbled about the whole thing because when Brother Roadside Marty called me up, I thought he was joking around with me. And you know how Roadside likes to joke around, and I'm like, no way. And then Zipper called me and told me that too. Then the magazines showed up at the shop down there and pulled out the magazine, and sure enough, it was. And it's pretty humbled about the whole thing. It's pretty cool, actually.
That's awesome. Now, when I was saying just a minute ago about, you know, after such a tough year, has it actually been longer than a year?
No, actually,
time is going
was,
so slow through all of this pandemic shit that I lose track.
It's been a nightmare for everybody, and we were talking about this too. There's been so many good brothers and friends and people in the industry that's passed on and stuff, and friends of ours and stuff, and it's been a bad year for the whole country, I believe, it's like when I was in the hospital, almost every day, Austin posted something up about prayers and stuff for me. And I got kind of knowing him through social media. And what a really, really nice man that guy is and was. And it's just a tragedy that he passed on too.
Yeah, I'm actually on your Instagram right now with one of the couple posts that you had up there, and that was, you know, unfortunately, I didn't know Austin as well as a lot of you guys. Like, I had met him a few times, you know, being in New York and doing the motorcycle thing and running around, and I didn't want to be that guy to put up a bunch of stuff yesterday while all this was going on. But man, to read post after post and how much impact he had on people was incredible. You know, you don't get that. Like, as much connectivity as we have today with everything with social media, it doesn't seem like that kind of gravity comes from a person in our community anymore.
No, and even Matt Stork was down here today, and they had a fundraiser for his family at RCBC Church today, and raised money to send to his family and stuff. And he brought it up. He says, you know, look at the biker community now compared to what it was years and years ago. And because of social media and stuff, you know, here's people in Florida that never met the man and, you know, got involved in this and stuff. And, you know, it's just kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Social media has really played a big role in everybody connecting with one another and stuff. I would have never known Austin, if it wasn't for social media and stuff. And he's become especially in biker culture and stuff around even these parts and stuff, he's become a real legend man. He's really everybody just really respects the man and stuff. And actually the fundraiser today was we actually thought he was going to pull through, and of course he didn't. And so the fundraiser goes to his family. But it's been a rough year for a lot of people, and I don't know, it was in April when I got hit, and I spent a little over 2.5 months with hospitals and IVs and everything.
And what a scary time to be in the hospital.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah, I'm just grateful to be alive and stuff. And, that's while I'm on here, I'd like to really thank everybody that reached out to me, prayed for me. And, and people did fundraisers for me and stuff. And I really want to thank everybody. I know I haven't been able to get hold of every single person that was involved in all that, but, it was, I was humbled at that time in the hospital. And, I don't know, it really made me appreciate a lot of stuff that I didn't take, you take for granted stuff. And, you take for granted, like I tell a lot of people now, you got somebody you care about, tell them you care about them. You got a brother, call them up once in a while and tell them, and it's like we're all so busy all the time, and we don't get to do this stuff. And I'm bad about it too, still, but there's a lot of people out there care for, everybody here. And, we just got to tell people we appreciate it and stuff when we see them and stuff. And, we don't know if we're going to get up tomorrow. So that's something I learned over this process. I was totally, I was pretty much blown away because I thought I was pretty invincible until I got hit, and at 51 years riding motorcycles and stuff. And I've never been in the hospital from a motorcycle accident. Yeah. And then to get hit at 10 miles an hour, I was going probably 10, 15 or something, and to end up in the hospital for 2 months and almost dying, it really woke me up to the reality that we're very vulnerable.
Yep.
We're not invincible.
Speaking of people that are sick, Coach East, is he doing any better? I've been hearing he's been real sick.
He's been real sick. His whole family had the COVID stuff, and he's actually right now he's in the hospital, but he's doing real well. I don't know. I don't know all the symptoms and everything that's going on with him. He had a few deficiencies in his blood, I believe, and but he's resting well in the hospital. They're running tests on him and stuff, and I don't think he's got the COVID though. I think it was something else.
Oh yeah. It wouldn't be chopper time without him telling somebody they can't pull their bike in.
That's fun. That's funny too that you said that right after Willie was talking about how we need to make sure that that when we love somebody, you tell them you love them. Make sure you do that communication, because it was just right after chopper time this year, right, Willie, that Coachy stood up at the dinner after chopper time and gave this beautiful presentation. He did a speech, and that was his message. His message was, looking around the room with everything that was going on and looking around that table and not seeing faces that, that were always there.
Usually are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having
appreciation. There was a lot of faces that weren't there this year, and I don't know, it's with everything now. It's I think even with the COVID and all that stuff, it's made people more aware of stuff, and
how fragile stuff truly is.
Life is real fragile. Exactly. Yeah. Life is so fragile and stuff. And
yes, sir.
I don't know. It's been, like I said, it's been one of them bad. It's been a rough year, and then it's starting out rough again. You know.
Well, the one thing I can say is we have chopper time right around the corner. It's coming like a runaway train. It's
right. March 10th.
March 10th.
There's been 2 years I haven't been there. I'm Jones.
What is wrong
I'm
with
Willie
you?
Jones right now.
Yeah, Mark, you didn't come down there last.
No, my dad had passed away last year. He was real sick right before your show, so
Yeah.
I didn't do any travel. Once we found out he was sick, I haven't gone anywhere since. So I'm shooting to. I miss it. That's truly one of my favorite. And it's funny because we have 2 people on tonight. Yours is hands down one of my favorite shows of the year. If you've never been there, you don't know what you're missing. You need to feel the energy, how he makes it happen in that little lot.
Way more. It's about way more than a busy parking lot,
dude. It's absolutely insane. And then our other one with Randy, the Cycle Showcase, to me is just off the charts. It's a great show to go see. So I'm looking forward to. I'm going to try and pull a day. I might pull off of me and Chris a day down, do the show, a day home.
That's it.
So
that's not a me and Chris anymore. That's clinically known as a Jeff Cochran now.
Maybe I can talk him into it.
Thing.
Yeah, I'll try and talk him into it too. We've been discussing it recently. So
right on. So chopper time right around the corner. The man of the year, like you should be getting your trophy anytime for that, and that gives you bragging rights for the whole year. If your old lady's giving you a bunch of shit, you can hold up that trophy and say, "Look, I don't know what to tell you. I'm man of the year. Like this is my year."
Have you met Miss Jean? She will smack him clean upside the head with that he tries that. Come on,
with
now.
the trophy.
Man, she's the meanest woman I ever known. Not really.
Oh, you stop. Miss Jean is a saint. How long have you guys been together, Willie?
42 years, and I'll tell you what, I learned a lot about even marriage, love, and all that stuff. What we went through, and she was by my side. I was in Gainesville and stuff, and she came over there and got a hotel room and stayed and was in my room every single day. And, when I was up in Halifax, the same thing. And I tell you what, you really know how much somebody loves you when they take care of you like that and stuff. And
for sure.
And she's been by my side. And
I love those old pics of you guys. Just, man, that's the history. It goes back, seeing the two ends together in some of those old pictures is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite thing about spending time at Chopper Time is going around like after all these years still looking at all the pictures that are hanging up on the wall. And I think it's because after so long you get to know more people and you're like, wow, I didn't realize that was, such and such has been there all these years. That's awesome. Well, Willie, we want to send you our love, brother. We think the world of you, and we're super glad that the readers decided to give you this award this year. And man, I just hope that there's blue skies and sunshine for Chopper Time and everything else in between for you this year.
I also want to make sure I tell you guys this. I want to thank you and Heather for all you've done for me, helping me out with the shows and everything. I couldn't do it without y'all's help. Roadside Marty's always by my side, man.
Yes, sir.
It's like, and actually through that show, it's, he's one of my closest brothers I know. We're just like family. And I wish I could get his dad on this thing one night because Mr. Davis has more knowledge about motorcycles than almost any man I ever seen, and I know you hung out with him and stuff. He's just a great man to talk to. And there's me and my brother right there.
That's one of my highlights of Chopper Time.
Yeah, I think that secretly pisses Roadside off is, anytime we're near the Pensacola area, I'll call him up and say, hey man, me and Heather want to stop by. And he's like, well, okay, brother. And I'm like, well, look, if you're busy, it's cool. I want to make sure I see your old man. And he's like, what?
He's like, what? Yeah, like I'm like, Roadside, I just want to see your daddy. He's like, excuse me? I love Mr. Davis. I love his stories. He's got the greatest stories. I could sit and talk to him for hours.
And before the accident, me and him went to Webster one weekend, and he about walked me to death.
Yeah.
I mean, that was before my accident. And that's a cool picture.
Look at that picture right there. Who is that in that picture even?
Oh, man.
Huh?
Damn, I sure look old now.
That's good stuff.
I dig some of them old pictures, man. They got some great pictures.
Yep.
Oh, man.
You're so lucky to have that history. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, there's one more thing I want to say about Chopper Time too before we cut you loose, man. It really, like, you hear people use the old isms, like, you know, it takes a village to raise a child, but this thing really does take a village. You know, like, you have people that show up that day to help out with that show, and it might be the only time that we see them the whole year, is except for that day. They pop out on nowhere, and they have their assigned position at Chopper Time, and it's literally like, I'm sure you could go on for quite some time here, Willie, just naming people off like Sean and Marcus, and you know, everybody that Coach Cheese is always there helping out. Like, everybody lends a hand to make sure this show goes on. That's why it's such an important part of our year.
Yeah, and you know, it's a lot of them guys that people don't even know, you know, like Dale Hall and stuff, and you know, Gary Luke and stuff. You know, a lot of people really don't even know some of these guys, but man, them guys, and Tito Sanchez, man, some of them guys that have been around helping me for so many years, and you know, it's just like they show up. I might not see them guys for months sometimes, and then they know to show up at Chopper Time, and they come in there and they help out every year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Willie, I appreciate you being on the show with us tonight, and congratulations again. And man, we're counting down the hours until we get to come and hang out with you in person.
Well, it was great, and I appreciate it, and thank you guys for everything y'all do in the industry.
Yes, sir, Willie. You take care of yourself.
Thank you, Willie. We love you.
See you, Will.
Love you too.
All right, man. So you guys are watching Shop Talk through the courtesy of Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. Chopper Time just around the corner. Get your shit together. Get ready. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come out of that, we're going straight to our feature bike tonight, our first feature bike, and then we're going to go right back to the lines, and we're going to bring Randy Noldge on from St. Louis Cycle Showcase, and we're going to bring you all the information about this year's show. It's going to be a hoot. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Shop Talk. Hey, Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, Greasing Gears Garage. Man, are we stoked to be riding with the guys from the High Seas Rally. Really neat thing that we're doing this year. So in addition to all of the landside events like the mini bike race, and we're actually getting on board the High Seas Rally. We're going to have Xavier and I do Greasing Gears Garage segments, live demos on the ship. We're going to teach you guys fabrication. It's going to be a blast. Of course, our virtual bike show. You want to come hang out with us, take a strange and unusual trip out on the high seas with some pirate biker guys like us, go check out highseasrally.com. We'll see you there.
We're the Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers. We understand the challenges riders face every day. As riders, we want to share the road and be seen by motorists. Remaining visible is critical to our safety and well-being. That's why we work tirelessly to promote motorcycle safety and awareness. We're proud to support our community that includes riders of all stripes. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. The Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
Tampa, Florida. Started to make a bike to go to Sons of Speed. I just started building the frame, made a motor at a shop in Bradenton. Willie Hirschberger helped me build the motor, and everything else is pretty much just handmade whatever I had. It's a 45G motor. A lot of stuff we don't like to talk about, but it has been flowed, cut, and better bearings put in it. The tanks are from Poland. They're cast tanks, and they come raw sand casted, and you have to put your own backs or mounts however you'd like to do that. I had a friend Romero who had a motorcycle, and I used to watch him work on it. And one day I asked him how he got the motorcycle. And he says, "Why, you like that?" I said, "Yeah." And he says, "Why don't you just go get that Billy Lane in the 90s?" And that really sparked my drive and interest to build and create and things like that. Today we raced in the 45 class for Sons of Speed. We started out different from then, and it was very wobbly. So I had to go to the front end that's on now, but it's a lot better. Zero background racing, and this is the only racing I've ever done. It was scary and exciting, but now it's really cool. I was on the fence at first. It's intense.
Okay, like I said, I have to apologize for that audio, but that's the way that clip was recorded. The bike is too cool to not play it, but unfortunately it was windy, and you know, shit happens. Shit happens. We're motorcycle people that are out doing this stuff, so when we get a cool bike like that, I don't want to necessarily turn it away. I apologize for the uncomfortable audio. I know that's one of the worst things that you can do on a show like this is have bad audio, but maybe we can actually do this cat's interview again this year at Sons of Speed.
Cool bike, bad audio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will be there again. That bike is actually in the pages of the issue that's on newsstands right now.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
if you want to see that and hold it in your hot little hands,
Breaks my heart
go pick up a
because
copy.
it breaks my heart because the audio wasn't even that bad when I put the clip together, but man, it just it came apart. So I apologize.
It's just the wind. It was a very windy day that day,
Yeah.
and I don't think they had a lav mic. They just had a shotgun mic.
Yeah. So apologize for that. Hey, it's time to switch gears again, and let's get to our second guest. I feel like I met Randy forever ago. You know, he's one of those cats that just always seems like he's been around. An imposing figure, giant man. I actually got to ride bitch with him one time on the Cycle Source ride when my bike took a shit, and that nothing funnier than that because I was 70 pounds heavier at the time. So there's great big Randy and big fat ass Chris on the back of the bike with him, and when we rolled back into Sturgis, people were like, "Oh my God!" But
Man,
did you notice nobody asked us anything
pictures of
about
that
it?
somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody.
No, who's gonna say anything to
Nobody
Randy?
said shit.
Yeah.
Hey,
Nobody's gonna say a damn
Yeah.
thing.
I
to
was
that
there
crew.
too.
Nobody's gonna say anything to Randy.
Well, big guy, big heart.
Big guy, big heart. Yes, sir.
I love Big Randy. Everybody loves
Yeah,
Randy.
definitely one of my.
We want to
favorite
find
people.
out the latest and greatest from this year's St. Louis Cycle Showcase.
And
Amy
about the
King.
ice cream. There's got to
And
be ice cream.
Yes. Did I wear a wig? I didn't, but that would have made it so much cooler because we could have pretended that we were in a Black Widows. Amy Keenan saying, tell Randy I can't wait to get my big bear hug. You can tell him in a minute. Let's go to the lines and bring on Randy.
Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectro Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth.
Brother Randy, how you doing?
What's going on, folks?
We're in the house. It's snowing like a son of a bitch here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and there's nothing better to do to keep our hearts warm than talk about motorcycles. So let's get it on.
Let's do it. If only you knew a sound guy to fix that audio problem you had with that bike. Damn it.
There's nothing to do about it, man. Like, what do you do when audio is so deteriorated from wind noise?
Grab your spare line.
That's it.
Yeah, right. I should just.
You know what? Hey, I saw that bike in the magazine. That is amazing, and I don't know if we can recut that clip, but let's make that the first choice for the next Cycle Showcase 2023.
Wow, right on.
That's cool.
That
Yes,
bike is
sir.
awesome.
Where's your applause meter?
That's really cool. Let's put that on the book for the next Cycle Showcase.
Yeah, that fits right in, right?
Dude, somebody
Oh,
get,
yeah.
somebody
That-
get a hold
that
of
bike
Shad
is
Reed
sweet.
and tell him. You know,
I'm sorry?
I said somebody get a hold of Shad Reed and tell him I'm sure he'll be honored. We'll see him
Yes.
for sure in Daytona.
I'm sorry, I got to turn you up there a little bit. I am a little bit hard of hearing.
That's that sound man.
Sound
life.
guy, yeah.
It is. Heather, I hope you do find some pictures of me and Chris on the Mantis, the Slaying Mantis, coming back into Sturgis. That was one of my most fond memories.
I have those
Chris,
somewhere. If I had thought of it,
Chris,
I would have dug them up.
I think Chris had his legs wrapped around me and was hugging me as we were rolling down LaSalle into Sturgis, and he was waving at everyone, and nobody would say a damn word.
No.
There's 600 pounds of man on my chopper going down the street, and nobody would blink an eye and wouldn't say a cross word at all. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's a tough crowd right there. You don't want to step on those shoes.
Yeah, buddy. You could tell. Hey, you could tell that they wanted to, though. You know, like you know, when when all the animals are running past Bugs Bunny. Hey, buddy, could you? Hey, did I just see it? Was that a?
I don't even know.
We'll have to dig up that photo, Heather. That was awesome.
I'm looking actually as we go because it was too good. It was too good. And it would have been Wednesday because our ride's out. I'm gonna find that picture hopefully while we're still talking. It was on ride day because we were coming down from. Yep.
Yeah, and I forget what bike I was on. Took a shit in the middle.
Coming
of
back from
ride.
Nemo or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amy Keen is very excited about Cycle Showcase. Everybody
I don't know if she's more excited about Cycle Showcase or Randy's hugs. Because Randy, and don't get offended, honey, Randy gives the best hugs on the face of the planet.
Here we go.
I'm a hugger. Yes.
Well, that's okay. Dane asked who was on the show tonight. Normally she goes to sleep. She's up at 4:30, and I said, "Well, Willie and Randy." She goes, "Oh my God, I'm going to stay up. I'll probably watch." So,
isn't that great? Isn't that great when people like in your family and people that love you and stuff that you expect to just support you are like, "Oh, really? Willie's on tonight. Maybe I'll watch the show." It's like, bastard. How about watching?
That's why Missy was here. Missy never watches the show, but she watched it for Willie and Randy. I'm like, oh, okay. Some BFF you are, bish.
So
I can't wait to see Missy in St. Louis here in a few weeks.
yeah.
when did Cycle Showcase actually start? What was your first year?
The first year was 2013. I kind of was bouncing around the idea around 2011, 2012, and I got the wheels going in 2012, and we did the first show in September, or I'm sorry, it's early September 2013, and it was 103 degrees in St. Louis. It was so sticky and hot. But it was we planted our flag and brought something I think new to motorcycle shows at the time, and I'm really excited to continue that.
Well, yeah, and I would say unarguably, you know, what you guys did, and this was way early on. I mean, things like, you know, even Mama Tried was just starting to get itself figured out, and the approach that you took to the show was something that would set a tone. I mean, you see a lot of different shows kind of modeling themselves after this. I could see, you know, a little bit of your show in Hand Build, in Mama Tried, in like the brewery thing that's going on, like, you know, all over as these other shows start to emerge. It really was, to your credit, you kind of set the tone for a lot of that.
A fresh trend.
I appreciate that. You know, I'm a Harley guy. I build Harleys. I love Harleys. But I appreciate everything on two wheels. And that was kind of the genesis of the whole show was, you know, one night I can go to Vintage Bike Night here in St. Louis and see a handful of really cool vintage stuff. And the next, a few nights later, I can go to the Euro Bike Night and see some cool European stuff. And of course, I can always go to the biker bar and see the latest, greatest big old D-Rake chopper here in St. Louis. But my tastes are pretty wide and varied. And the more I talk to people, the more they enjoy other stuff too. So when I first started doing this in 2013, it was a little bit odd to have a mix of a hand-built chopper next to a 1936 BMW, next to a 1916 Indian, next to Jay Springsteen's racing bike, next to another hand-built chopper. And that's what people really seemed to gravitate toward, was the diversity and the variety at the time back in 2013, when it didn't seem like a lot of shows were doing that.
No, absolutely. And I think early on too, that's something that really, you know, that I gravitated towards your shows for, was because of that mix, you know, because I talk about this all the time. You know, I grew up dirt bike racing back when it was still called, you know, 100-milers and hare scrambles and stuff. And, you know, motorcycles were just motorcycles. There weren't as many divisions as we found ourselves in the need, you know, the day that we need so many labels today. And it was refreshing to walk through that room and see so much diversity.
Yeah.
You know, the setup too, like he sets them, they're all super, or set up on really nice stands in most cases. You can get to walk around them. You have room to check everything out. It's super free and open. It's.
I actually want to talk about that because
cool setup.
That's one of the other really unique things about this, and I hope I'm not bringing up something that's not going to be a feature this time. But if you see, like,
it has to be
in the shot that we have up here right now, at the very base of that, you can see some stuff like almost written. And I think we have a better shot than this, that we can show what's actually at the base of every one of these motorcycles. That's one of my favorite things, though, is the work that goes into presentation. And the girl that does all the artwork, is it still the same person?
Yeah. I'm tickled to have Kelly from. She's got her own company now called Hype of Type, and she does all the hand lettering underneath each bike. So the first couple of years I didn't do that, and I would I'd place each bike on a riser or on a pedestal, because I feel like that's the best way to get a look at it. When the bike is a foot or 2 foot up in the air, you can really get eyeball level with the motor and see the craftsmanship, the engineering, the design of each bike. And I feel like that's important to show that and to get that up in people's face, rather than having to crawl around on the floor at a show field and look at a bike. So that was one of the things I would never compromise on. Each bike in the exhibit sits on its own platform. It sits on its own riser. And then after the first couple of years of doing the show, I found that people would walk by some bikes and not really know what made them special or why I chose them for the show. So I started putting a piece of butcher paper down on the table underneath each bike. And I had, like I said, my friend Kelly, who's a great calligrapher artist, she would come in and she would handwrite on each piece of paper where the bike is from, how old it is, and what makes it special, what makes it unique, what makes it attractive to be included into the show field. And I found that now that I market the show to just the general public, to people that aren't motorcycle people, I put it out all over my news media that this is a art, more like an art gallery than it is a Hooters parking lot. This is no motorcycle show you've ever seen, and anybody can come out and enjoy this. And they come out and they can read on the paper and understand what makes a bike special, what makes it unique, and not feel alienated by walking around and just looking at shiny bikes and not really knowing what they're seeing. That bike you're showing right there now is maybe my favorite motorcycle I've ever put in the show, believe it or not.
No kidding.
That was from the Moto Museum. That was on loan from the Moto Museum here in St. Louis. It was a 54, oh my God, EMA. And every tube on that motorcycle is the same diameter. The fork tube, the frame, the exhaust is actually the swing arm on that motorcycle. The swing arm is the exhaust. So much crazy engineering in this bike. It's one of my favorites that we've ever included in the show. But that's just some of the diversity that we have at the show. There's that, and then of course this year I've got so many really cool hand-built choppers, hand-built Harley Davidsons, a couple of hand-built Hondas that are going to be at the show. It is literally something for everybody.
Well, and you've had some of the biggest names in motorcycles, both from motorcycle craftsmen, machines from legendary racers. You've had more than your fair share of moto artists, and this year you actually have, when it comes to motorcycle art through photography, you have a big announcement for the show this year too, right?
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't really put this out there yet. This last August, I was in Sturgis and I saw this incredible collection of photography from the one and only Mr. Michael Lichter. And normally during a cycle showcase, I'll have 5 or 6 featured artists, but he had such a huge collection of iconic photos. I said, "Hey, Michael, we've talked about this for years. Will you please bring as much as you can to St. Louis, and let's make this year, the next cycle showcase, a feature year for Michael Lichter photography." And I'm so thrilled that he's going to actually come to St. Louis and bring 50, 60, 70 pieces of his photography, and we're going to hang up as much as we can. And he'll be there to talk about it, some of his most iconic images, and his approach and how he does it. I'm just tickled pink to have Michael join us this year.
And that we should mention real quick that's something that happens I forget what it is, every 3 or 5 years. Michael does his photography as the feature of the motorcycles as art in Sturgis. Yeah. And it's so exciting because, for people who haven't followed Michael forever and idolized him the way some of us have, his feature bikes are cool. I mean, undeniably, I'm not playing that down at all. But when I tell you that Michael Lichter, through the lens of his camera, has captured some of the most iconic moments of our time, that is what that man is really, really good at. There is somehow, other than the fact that he never sleeps and never eats and never stops, somehow he is always exactly at the right place to get people doing things in their natural, when you look at the picture, you just go, "Oh my God, that is Bill Dodge in a nutshell."
I can feel that when he takes a picture.
Yeah. And that's what you get.
I'm so excited
in his collection.
And to try to tell people who aren't in the motorcycle culture what an impact that he has on our industry and our world. It's really difficult to say, this is the guy he's captured the images that we all live for years, and he's done this for years and years. And if there was a motorcycle Mount Rushmore. He's got to be up there somewhere.
Yeah, he'd be one of them on that.
As one of the influencers, or one of the guys that's been there and seen it and done it.
Yeah. You know, I love lately he's been doing this thing on Dennis Kirk's blog, and you know he's going through timelines of different events and starting to arrange how, you know, the whole motorcycle thing through his years and from his perspective, and he's putting it out in short bursts and these offerings he does through Dennis Kirk, and it's just awesome. Like he did a decade by decade rundown of Sturgis, like, and I forget where it went back to, like the 70s, right? And it was just it was insane to follow through on that.
Yeah.
The amount of
he's logged more miles backwards than anybody I know forward.
Right.
Yeah, he's got trust in people while he's not paying any attention taking pictures. I can tell you that.
You know, just like I just went to his site right now, and he has a small collection up that says the 70s. You know, and if this is what I'm talking about, for as great as his motorcycle photography is, his ability to capture a moment in time is like none other, you know. I mean, there was shots right there from City Park, dude.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, not many people remember City Park. Yeah, it's cool. He always has a way to make you feel like you were there, which is something I always liked about his photographs.
Yeah. So that's exciting for you, man. That's
exciting. Yeah, I'm super tickled.
So what about the ice cream? I mean, let's get down to the important shit here, Randy. What's going on with ice cream?
All right. The event this year is there's this new development in town. It's called the City Foundry, and it was a manufacturing facility in the turn of the century, the early 1900s. And I don't know what they made there, but it was huge because this factory was enormous. And a dear friend and contributor to the Cycle Showcase over the years is a developer, and he's the one who bought the property. And years ago, he said, you know, Cycle Showcase is amazing, but it needs a forever home. And every year I've moved it around a little bit depending on space availability and venue availability. And we're trying to make this new venue, the City Foundry venue. Sorry, my camera just went out. This new City Foundry venue, we're trying to make that the forever home. This was a manufacturing place, like I said, back in the early 1900s, and they must have did something like railroad engines or something. I don't know. It's huge, but they've turned this now into a food court and a shopping area, and there's a bunch of empty warehouse spaces attached to this that will someday be rented out. But for the time being, we're taking one over, kind of like a rave, and we're creating our own environment. We're creating our own atmosphere, and it's going to be a really cool show. Inside the food court area, there might be a couple of ice cream places. You can bet on that. There you go. Ding ding. You know, I don't go anywhere without ice cream nearby. So
yeah, right.
So you know, if a Cycle Showcase is going on, that there's going to be ice cream, and there will be puppies.
Yeah.
And
ice cream and puppies.
Right. Well, you know, Heather.
Those are my two favorite things.
I know.
This is what I'm talking about. So here's, you know, me and Randy, the picture we painted earlier, these two giant men going down the street on a chopper in Sturgis, and no one will say anything about it. But really behind the scenes, like, to call this man a gentle giant, like, that's no bullshit. Like, ice cream and puppies, that's his jam.
It is.
You know?
I'm sure don't piss him off.
Well, I find out I like a lot of I usually like dogs better than humans.
Me too.
So,
Amen.
They shoot you straight, and present company not included, of course. But I've worked closely with a couple of animal rescues in the past with Cycle Showcase, and it's turned out to be a great hit, and it's a great talking point. when people walk in the door and they look to the right and they see a puppy kissing booth, and there's a little orphan Labrador sitting there with lipstick marks all over its forehead, it kind of sets the tone for the kind of event that you're at.
Lightens up the show.
It lightens up the show. It lightens up the event.
Yeah.
And if we can bring awareness to animal rescue here in St. Louis and create that wonderful atmosphere when people walk into Cycle Showcase, then it's a win-win. And then you take a few more steps, and then there's ice cream. And where do we go from here? I don't know.
Well, I'm looking forward to ice cream, and I sort of have been bitching at Dana. It's time to get a dog, so I might leave there with ice cream and a dog. So you never know.
Well, we can make that happen. Mark,
So
I can load you up with a cooler and a kennel.
That may work.
So here, to answer the question of where do we go from here, I think one of the things that we have to talk about is your social media game is on point. I mean, the shit that you do, like obviously you don't do all this stuff just to promote the show, but dude, like when you guys release stuff from Cycle Showcase Instagram, it defies words sometimes, you know, like there's nothing that you can say about that.
I was heading down to see Willie. It was
That is great.
No,
I thought you'd like that, Willie.
but seriously, like I know, isn't it Darren Williams does a lot of your memes and shit to promote the show, and
Darren did a lot of videos for me in the early years. He's really gotten busy with his own work. And,
right on.
And I haven't had to lean on him, or I haven't got to lean on him that hard. And I really miss some of his content. He would turn out some really fantastic
he was a champ.
little short videos and stuff.
But listen, whoever's doing it now is no slouch. I mean,
well, I thank you then. Maybe I learned from Darren. Yeah, that's of course I built a bike a couple years ago called the Titty Twister. So you'll see random images of titties twisting throughout.
Titties twisted. Titties.
Yeah, I started the my Instagram page for the show, but you can only throw up so many. Hey, look at this bike from last year. You can only throw up so many. So I try to keep it lively and fun and interesting. And we do a wheelie Wednesday, and I'll find random crazy wheelie shots, and we do sidecar Sundays.
Every Wednesday it makes me laugh. There's always something funny there.
We're good. And then there's heaps of bikes in there, of course, because that's what Cycle Showcase is all about, really, at the heart of it. But yeah, you keep it light and fun. When I meet somebody at a random event, Sturgis or down at Willie's in Daytona Beach, and they come up and they go, "Hey, you're the Cycle Showcase guy. I follow you on Instagram." And the first thing I always ask is, "Do you laugh?
Yeah.
Do you have a good time?" And they're like, "Yeah, your page is funny." Well, then that's good enough for me.
It's working.
So
yes, it's working.
So listen, speaking of motorcycles, always plenty of bikes. I would be remiss to not bring up to people, where the impetus for your passion for motorcycles and custom motorcycles in specific starts, and that is with your own motorcycle creations. And that's another place where you're no slouch. You've had some incredible bikes. You've had them featured, everywhere from the Lichter exhibit to the BC Moto Invitational. There's even been some in a national magazine or two that we know about.
Well, there was one in a Cycle Source magazine once.
Yes, sir. So,
and that's actually where I think where my show started. I've been in live music production, concert production my whole life. That's my day job, if you will. And then when I started down the motorcycle rabbit hole 15 plus years ago, and started going to shows around St. Louis, it was actually out of frustration from the local shows that I was at that I thought we could do better. And my mom always said, either don't bitch about it, shut up, and do something about it.
Yeah.
I looked around the map and I was like, St. Louis is so geographically centrally located. We're within 6-hour drive of 8 cities of 1 million people. Chicago, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, Kansas City, Des Moines, Memphis, Nashville. I go on. There's no reason St. Louis couldn't have a really great show. And if you're going to sit around and bitch about why there's no great shows in St. Louis, put up or shut up. Yeah. And that's really how Cycle Showcase started. As I said earlier, I was looking for the diversity in bikes, and this is kind of what I thought a show should look like, and how bikes should be presented in the show. And that's something I actually wanted to talk about this year. Something we're doing new, and I can't wait for everybody to follow lead on this one. But I've got 50, I think I'm looking at 54 bikes right now in the show. And of the 54 bikes that are going to be in the show, 8 of those are going to be unveiled here at Cycle Showcase. It'll be the first time anyone's ever seen them. This year, what I'm doing is we're going to do a proper unveiling. Anybody that's ever built a bike and spent a year of their life and tens of thousands of dollars on the bike, and then they roll it into a show and into their first show, and the guy says, just park it in the corner over there behind that bagger or whatever. And it's so anticlimactic. I really want to show builders that are debuting bikes at Cycle Showcase how much it means to me and how important it is. So what we're going to do, and I think this might be the first time I'm talking about this publicly, we're going to unveil 8 bikes at Cycle Showcase, truly unveil them. Each bike sits on its own riser, of course. All bikes sit on their own riser, their own platform, but we're going to cover these with black sheets. We're bringing in a bunch of concert lighting, and we're going to do proper unveilings with, is kind of like a red carpet. If you're unveiling a show or unveiling a bike at the Cycle Showcase, at a certain point, we're going to lift the drape, lift the sheet off the bike, and unveil it in front of the crowd. Be paparazzi, flash bulbs, lighting, MCs will be there, and we're going to make it a real event. If you choose to unveil a bike at Cycle Showcase, let's celebrate that event. And I'm really excited about that. I really am.
Yes, sir. That's bitching.
No, that gives the builder a little bit more kudos for bringing the bike and taking the time, you know.
You guys have all built bikes and taken it somewhere, and then and maybe felt anticlimactic about how it was presented, how it was unveiled. And I've done the same thing. And that out of that was like, well, how would I want it? What would the coolest thing be? Yeah. As if, you know, you're standing there on your riser with Michael Lichter's camera pointed at you, and another 15 photographers and flash bulbs, and the curtain lifts and the bike's unveiled, and we talk about it a little bit. I think custom bikes are worthy of that.
Yeah. And the time it takes to build them, and yeah.
Can you tell us who's going to be unveiling?
Well,
or is that still on the down low? Come on, give us some.
No, I can't actually. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up my computer here.
Getting some inside scoop.
Yes. Well, okay, we'll do the inside scoop here. Let me see.
Hey, while you're looking for that, I have a question, because I've been surfing your Instagram.
Yeah.
Is this Ray?
It looks like Ray. Oh my goodness.
Right? Poland, is that the guy's name? Something Poland?
Oh, Jason.
Oh, is that
Poland.
Jason Poland?
Yeah. He's actually.
I don't. I honestly, that was a wheelie Wednesday. I was looking up wheelies on the internet, and that picture came up, and that was too good of a picture. And I threw it up on my social media just as something as I don't want to say filler, but as something to entertain on a Wednesday, a wheelie Wednesday. And I think I had a bunch of people comment that was pulling. Jason Pullen.
Yeah, Jason Pullen, for anyone that doesn't know, like was one of the first guys really out there to do stunts and everything on a Harley. Like he set the tone for that, and he's amazing. Yeah. He's amazing to watch. Like, you know, like back in the 70s and 80s when somebody could do disco on roller skates, that's how good this guy is. You know, like it's like watching disco on roller skate. That's a weird analogy.
But
where did that come from?
But it's a good analogy.
It is, right? I mean,
I don't know if you saw that girl at Black Hills Boogie on those roller skates.
She was a badass.
She was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen a couple really good roller skaters.
Right on.
Do I have to dig my roller skates out this next stage?
Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
All right. I was kind of envious. I was a roller kid when I was a little kid. So
were you?
I was like, all right, maybe it's time to get the skates out.
All right.
Back to your question. I'm looking over the list here. There's a guy named Eric Bess out of St. Louis who's building a Honda cafe racer. And he's got a company called Flying Tiger Motorcycles here in the St. Louis area. We'll be unveiling one of his. He's building this for Rebel Bourbon, Rebel Yell Bourbon. It's a bike built for the bourbon company, and we'll be unveiling that here in St. Louis. Of course, Jeremy from Joker Cycle Works. If you're following my Instagram page, I posted a few things about him already. We'll be unveiling a brand new chop that he's building, a Harley chop. Let's see who's next here. Knucklehead. Oh, we talked about him before. Roadside's, and well, everybody's favorite buddy, Roadside Marty. Roadside Marty's unveiling a Knucklehead.
Nice.
He's bringing up.
Really?
He's bringing a Knucklehead up out of Florida, and we'll be unveiling that. The super talented Rich Phillips from Rich Phillips Leather.
Dude, I haven't heard of anything from Rich for a while. That's cool.
No, he's been, from what I've seen, he's been knee deep in leather and seat production, and is not doing a lot of custom bike stuff anymore. But he was approached by a local dealership here, Gateway BMW, and they gave him a new R18 BMW bike, which is a pretty neat bike, I got to tell you. They gave him one and said, have at it, do what you want. And Rich's mind works in a different way than most people. And I've seen some of the stuff that he's been doing. I've been following him along, and he's going to be unveiling a new BMW. It's kind of a old school bobber ish thing out of a brand new R18 platform. So that's really cool. Let's see here. Ricky Bongos out of Vegas is bringing a gold-plated chopper to the show. We'll be unveiling that. I've got one here that I cannot speak of. That's going to be a surprise. Another one that's going to be a surprise. Eric out of Colorado. I think on Instagram he's 303 Eric. He is building a super beautiful panhead that we'll be unveiling. So we got a little variety. We got some European stuff. I got a couple of Japanese bikes and 5 Harleys we're unveiling here in St. Louis. yeah, I'm super excited about this. I think
Right
I think once people see the display that we do for unveiling a new bike, you'll start seeing this popping up at other shows too. So,
Oh yeah, we're already talking about stealing it. We're texting each other back and forth while you're talking about that. We're like, look, this is such a good idea. Everybody's going to take it, so we should should just take it first.
So what you're saying is I'm just rambling on too long, too long for you to enough for you to text.
More ideas, more. You keep talking. We're getting more ideas.
More ideas. I mean, honestly, it's what the bikes are worthy. If you're going to unveil a bike at a show, it should be presented in this way. Right. It should be displayed in this way. And that's why I started doing cycle showcases, because I felt that this was the right thing to do.
No, dude, I think that's badass.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So do me a favor, tell everybody where the best place to get up to the minute information about Cycle Showcase to get ready for the show this year. Everybody needs to make plans to be here. Okay.
If I'm sorry, I'm horrible on my webpage. I'm not very active on Facebook, but I am super active on Instagram. So if you can get on the Instagrams and follow CSSTL, that's for Cycle Showcase STL. CSSTL is on Instagram. I am on Facebook at Cycle Showcase STL. I do have a website, Cycle Showcase STL, but like I said, Instagram is my main jam, and that's where I'm at every day, and you can always get a hold of me there.
Right on, man. Well, listen, dude, I appreciate you being here with us tonight. Always good to run into you. We didn't even get to talk about your ice cream social in Sturgis, which I'm sure is now going to be a staple of the Black Hills Rally.
Yes.
So
There was a group of people in a herd on Main Street eating ice cream.
Dude, and this year, I hate to tell you this, Mark, this year it was even better because like there's this designer ice cream joint. It was like someone said, Randy needs a good place to hold his deal, and they made the perfect spot for it now.
Well, it was fantastic.
I had a good
excuse. We're already booked for next year.
Well, I'll good possibility will be there next year. I had a good excuse for last year.
Yeah, so. I know. We all missed you, buddy. We all missed you this year.
Yes, we did.
Did the poster get ice cream? That's all I want to know.
The what?
The cutout.
Oh.
I don't think the cutout made it to the ice cream social.
Of all the places that cutout should have made it, that would have been the one.
That cutout was hung over and laying by the pool.
Yeah, right.
Trying to recover.
Listen, it turns out, Mark, that the cutout of you had more fun in Sturgis than you ever did.
Over there, yeah.
You talked to more people. You danced with people. You did shit that you never have done before. Well, it was amazing.
Maybe the cutout should go next year.
Oh, God. See what happens.
Randy, is ice cream social on Wednesday night in Sturgis?
That's the plan right now. If they get some sort of high-paying customer that wants to do something and I got to get bumped, that's fine. I'll pick another night. But right now we're looking at Wednesday night.
Right.
Got to get that Sturgis schedule down early. Come on now.
That's right.
Do we have ice cream social in Daytona? Are you coming to Daytona?
I don't know if I'm coming to Daytona yet. I've got, and I can tell you, honest to God, the only reason I go to Daytona is for Willie's show.
Right? You and you and everybody else.
Oh, there's this one thing called the Cycle Source show.
I was just sitting here going, really? On our own show?
Really?
Bastard.
Sorry, would you let me swing from Willie's nuts for a minute? Come on. No, I know. I love Willie's show. I love you guys' show.
Nice save.
I've got a wedding. We're getting all personal. I got a wedding to go to down in Florida a week after Bike Week, and I'm trying to figure out if I can take off almost the whole month of March of work after the last year.
Yeah, no shit.
So
right?
That's what I'm kind of wrestling with right now. My goal is, yes, to be in Daytona for Bike Week.
Well, let me sweeten the deal. We'll hold an ice cream social, so you have to be there.
Really?
Well, and listen,
right.
not
All right.
if
And I'll make it
that
even
wedding.
better. We'll do it the day
I'll send a
after
gift.
Willie's. So
I'll send a gift to the wedding, and I'll go to Bike Week. Sorry,
So
guys. Good.
obviously, that person that's getting married is not watching the show. Is that what you're saying?
I'd like to think that they were, but I'd like to think everybody's watching the show. But
All right, man. Well, listen, brother, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I appreciate everything that you do with Cycle Showcase, because just like you're saying, there's been a lot of times, like, unfortunately for Mark, usually when we show up with a motorcycle, we kind of pretend that it's not even our bike. But we do. Like, we don't, being the magazine guy, you don't want to try to, force your agenda. So, but it's always disheartening. It's always disheartening to watch, so much, because we do know the backstories, and we know the struggles that went into getting that bike finished and there, and to have somebody paying attention to that like you do, that's exemplary.
Yeah, and the people that bring those bikes appreciate everything you go through, like he's saying, the stands and that little architecture thing you put onto the bikes a couple years ago when War Pony was there. That thing was cool as shit. Like, just those little touches make a huge difference.
Yep.
well, I appreciate that. We're going to do that again, and that's the bar we set.
Right on, buddy. Well, good luck to you in the show, and we hope to see you in Daytona. But if not, send some stuff down that we can pass out about what's going on with the event, and we can start promoting early.
Yep.
Right. Well, let's just have ice cream social. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think you just gave him a little stroke. Like, he will just have barely recovered from this year's event. Give him a minute. Let him breathe. Let me get him some ice cream.
I'm just trying to help, man.
Well, you just titty twisted him into coming to Florida is what you did.
All right, man.
Actually, and Randy, it'll be bunny tracks. I promise.
All right, I'm there. You got me now.
All right, Randy. Big love to you, man. We'll see you in Daytona.
Love you guys all. Thank you so much.
See you, Randy.
Right.
See you soon.
Bye,
See
Randy.
you in a few weeks at Cycle Showcase.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh, right on.
February 12th and 13th, Cycle Showcase. Do not miss it.
Dude, it's fun.
I love his unveiling idea. That's so
Yeah.
rad. We're
Yeah, that's
totally
We
stealing
can't
that one.
steal it. We can't steal it.
He
No.
Somebody
said
else
right
is going
before
to.
he even said what it was going to be. He said people were going to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he said it
follow
like,
suit.
I know this is going to happen. That doesn't mean he'd be any less
Right.
pissed. Hey, listen, speaking of
But we
Daytona,
will consult him.
Speaking of Daytona, I want to put one more piece of news out there, just because it almost follows batshit crazy news. Coming in from next mosh, Steel Panther. You won't need a pill to rock this hard. If anybody knows anything about Steel Panther, it's obscene, it's ridiculous. It's going to be in Daytona. Look at that. On the 11th, Daytona International Speedway, none other than Steel Panther.
So they're looking to not draw a crowd. I don't know what's going on right there.
Steel Panther's awesome, dude. It's awesome. It's going to be so cool. Good for them.
So, two things. While I was looking for the picture of you and Randy on his bike, I think I should be concerned because I didn't find the picture of you and Randy, but I did find one of you and Tom Kiefer on the bike together.
Oh, good.
So it seems to be like we have a little pattern going.
Hey, listen.
And
I'm not.
Jim Fletcher says that he will serve ice cream and a Speedo if Randy comes to Daytona.
Nice. Dude, wait a minute. I got to go. I think Randy's still with us. Randy, you still there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you got to help us make this happen. Jim Fletcher
All right.
will serve
So-
ice cream in a Speedo if you're going to be in Daytona.
If you,
Is that not a selling point though? I mean,
Well, hey, you want to drive 1,200 miles to see a guy in a Speedo with ice cream dripping off his nipples? Sure. Why not?
I'll have another scoop of Harry Plums, please.
wow.
All right, what's the date on that? Where do I have to be?
He's jotting it down as we speak.
I'm writing it. I got my pen here, writing it down as we speak. Where do I got to be?
Well, we should do it so that it's convenient with Willie's, so that
We should either do it the night
Willie's.
before Willie's or the night after Willie's.
It would have to be Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking Wednesday or Friday.
Or Wednesday or Friday. Yeah, that's what I meant. Thursday's
Yeah,
Willie's,
because
right?
after Willie's, everybody's so wiped out from
Willie's.
the whole day.
And he likes to go do
All
a
right.
dinner
From
with certain
Willie's.
If we're doing the ice cream social in Sturgis on Wednesday, let's do the ice cream social in Daytona on Wednesday.
Yeah, sounds right.
There you go.
Consider it done.
There you go.
God, this is
Put it in the books.
I hope this is making me also have to go to Florida too, Randy. So that.
Ah, shit.
You're gonna miss Harry Plums.
I'll wear a Speedo for you too, Mark.
All right.
I think Heather has a picture of this.
All right, we're really cutting you loose this time. I saw you were still on, and when that came up, I was like, dude, we got to go back to this for a minute.
Yeah, that's a doozy.
All right, buddy. All right, man.
Have
listen.
a good night, guys.
Hey, you guys.
Again, Randy.
You guys are watching Shop Talk through the courtesy of Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. I'm Chris Callen with Cycle Source Magazine, your host. From 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheel bullshit you can handle. Every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, we are going to go to some tech. We're working on a bike out in the Grease and Gears garage. When we come back from this, we're going to pull this one back into the station. You guys have been great hanging out with us here tonight. We got a little bit more to go. Don't go anywhere. Let's go out in the garage.
Shop Talk Tech Tips are brought to you by S&S. Proven performance for the power sports industry.
Okay, we're back in the Grease and Gears garage for another installment of this old FXR, the Dennis Kirk Evolution, FXR Evolution giveaway. Last time we left off with, we were making our forms for our side covers. We're going to get back to this in a minute. We're actually going to start hammering out some sheet metal today. We got our paper forms going that we made from that, and you can see the result is a real nice form. We have the dimensionality to work off of the 3D model, so we're well on our way with that. Hey, at the same time, I want to kind of switch gears and jump into the gas tank. So this is not an FXR gas tank, but I found this tank that has a cool shape. Unfortunately, some butthead dropped it on the floor and put a big dent in it, so I have to fix that now. But I like the way this tank sits. I don't like where this is, so the first thing we're going to do is knock this filler neck out with a plasma cutter. While that's open, that'll give us the ability to heat up this area and take out that bend. Through the good folks at Drag Specialties, we have a nice replacement bung. We're going to relocate this, make out the cutout for that with the plasma cutter as well, and then get that welded into shape. Couple things that we have to do is hammer out these tail pieces for the mount, see if we can get them close to where they need to be. And then ultimately, I'm sort of hoping to cheat a little bit. Typically on FXR, this would be a squared off tunnel. I'm kind of hoping that I can just square it off for the look, which would be like a little valance panel here, and use it exactly the way it is. Worst comes to worst, I'll have to, again with the plasma cutter, knock out this tunnel, make a square tunnel and slide it in and then weld it back up. But we're going to see if we can get away with a little cheat first, because it fits really nice the way it is now, and I don't mind the shape of it. And I think there's plenty of room there once you get the mounts in the right area. So we'll see how that goes. Real quick, let's jump to it and get into business here at the Grease and Gears Garage.
Okay, so ultimately what we ended up doing here, and this was under Mark's advice, was just clean up the side where the dent was, and we started welding on the slide hammer posts. This is like a spot welding gun that puts on posts that you can work with a slide hammer. This is an old auto body trick that, you know, Mark and I have been doing for a long time. So get ready to do this a bunch of times, because you have to work from the outside of the dent and go in circles as you get to the deeper part. It'll take a good while in several different applications. I think maybe 4 different times we came back to this to get the dent to reasonably smooth again. But in the end, looks pretty good. Probably just take a light skim coat of mud now that we have it smoothed out, cleaned it up, and once we got it to that point, Mark used a curved body hammer and dressed out some more of the dent, and off we went.
Have a rough opening there, and I'm just going to use a known circle, make a nice clean line, and I'm going to round that thing out, and then I'll have a pattern to make my sheet metal with. I have my template started with similar gauge sheet metal, and I've roughed out the big cuts, and now it's going to be a little bit at a time to shape it. I can tell that one of the problems is this is flat and this has a little bit of round to it, so we're going to set up the planishing hammer and get that similar shape going before we make any more adjustments to its size, because the size is pretty close. See, I had like a circular pattern working to the outside. It's got a much better fit. Can't really tell as much from up here unless I flip it over, and then you can see how much we've managed to achieve the dish. So what I'm going to do now is get this down to a better size so that we can get it in there and hold it up against our piece. I started, like, I still had a little bit of a radius to achieve with it, so I started back here and I got my tacks going. And then I took a body hammer and just kind of brought the line down, and then I went back and forth, chasing the heat around. So basically all I'm doing is cleaning off this surface rust. I'm going to throw a quick coat of sandable primer over this so that it'll sit until the next time we come back to work without getting all rusty. Okay, so that's about going to wrap it up for today with the FXR Evolution. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the side covers again today because the tank ended up being so much more than I thought. We relocated the filler neck, ended up cutting all of the mounts completely off because none of those worked the way that I thought they were. Had a chance while we were plasma cutting the old filler neck out, had a chance to go over to the shop with Mark, and we used the old weld-on stud dent puller and got that dent out pretty good. Overall, pretty happy with this. As you guys see from the shot on the top of the tank, there's a little bit of a low spot there, but I'm not the kind of cat that finishes stuff completely in metal, so Mark will put a little skim coat on mud with that. Next step is we're going to go to figure out how we're going to get this mounted, what our mounts are going to be. I threw some sandable primer over top of this thing so that the tank doesn't get rusty while we're doing that. That'll be for next episode. Thanks for coming along with us. Get out to Dennis Kirk's garagebuild.com today and check out the FXR Evolution. You can walk away with this bike when we're done. This is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine. We'll see you next time.
Have you built a bike you'd like to show off? Would you like it showcased on an awesome website and have a shot at some sick prizes? Then Garage Build wants to see your ride. It's super easy. Just go to garagebuild.com, enter your information, and share your stories. Don't forget to upload your photos and videos and tell us what it took to build your ride. Your build could be featured on our Facebook page and our Instagram page, and some might even make it into Cycle Source magazine. Everyone that submits a build will receive a free Garage Build hat and a chance at a $250 Dennis Kirk gift card. After you've entered your build, support your fellow builders by rating and commenting on your favorite bikes. If you're not a builder and you still want to participate in the action, go to view the builds on Garage Build's site. Let the owners know what you think of their unique rides by rating and commenting. Enter your email address for a chance to win a $100 Dennis Kirk gift card. Don't forget to follow Garage Build on Facebook and Instagram. You just might see your ride featured. There's going to be 2 contests per year. So head over to DennisKirksGarageBuild.com now for your chance to win. I'm Dylan with Dennis Kirk. We'll see you guys next time.
This is Rick from RKB and you're watching Shop Talk.
Everything we do at the track shapes what we build for the street and the dirt.
You can see how bad these guys want it. A race to the line.
For us, racing is not for the trophies or the glory. We compete because it makes everything we do faster, more durable, and tested to a higher standard. For S&S, racing is the ultimate in proven performance, and we've been proving it since 1958.
Okay, welcome back to Shop Talk in the Dennis Kirk studio. Appreciate you guys being here with us. We're running overtime tonight, but we just had that much good content, man. You know,
I know, we were so lucky to get them both tonight.
Yeah. I'm hoping we get some clarity on the audio issue with that feature bike. That bummed me out that we lost that, but we'll try to get that cleaned up and back out to you guys as soon as we can. That sucked a little bit.
Cool bike though, no questions asked.
Yeah.
And how cool Randy wants to bring it to the next cycle showcase.
Right on. It was neat seeing it actually go around the racetrack. That was the coolest part, because we had saw it where we got it was at Willie's. We saw it at Willie's show first, and we set it up for a feature. And then when we were at Sons of Speed, here comes that bike out to the racetrack. I was like, no shit. So, good times. I think we're gonna
the hell out of that thing.
We're gonna cut it short tonight for events, Blondie, because we're running so late.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm totally good with that. They can catch them up on our website on the little calendar page. And next week we have Flash.
Right on.
Fred Vanderpeer from Bikers Against Bullies. It's their 10th anniversary that they're coming into, so we're gonna talk to them and get to know a little bit about what they do. I think it's gonna be a good show.
Yes, sir. Right on. All right, man. Well, listen. Thank you guys for being here with us again. We'll see you next Sunday. Same chopper time.
Same chopper channel.
Bye, Felicia.
We'd like to thank our sponsors for their continued support, and we hope you pay them a visit when you're in the market for great motorcycle parts, products, and events. S&S Cycle, Makuni American, Baco Parts, The Broken Spoke Saloon, Twisted Tea, The Iron Horse Saloon, High Seas Rally, Twisted Choppers, Twin Power, Drag Specialties, Geico, Law Tigers, Tech Cycle, Fueling Parts, Lone Star Rally, Hijinks Apparel, Progressive Insurance, Spectral Oil, No School Choppers, Motion Pro Tools.